here are some delicious Christmas dinner recipes that will help you to sleep. Our first recipe is grilled vegetable skewers with herb marinade, a vibrant and flavorful dish that brings the best of fresh, seasonal vegetables to your table. These colorful skewers are marinated in a zesty herb blend, then grilled to perfection, creating a smoky, charred exterior while keeping the vegetables tender and juicy inside. This dish is a perfect option for a light meal or a side at any summer BBQ or festive gathering. Let's begin. Start by preparing the vegetables. You will need a variety of fresh vegetables, such as bell peppers, zucchini, cherry tomatoes, red onion, and mushrooms. Cut the vegetables into even-sized chunks, making sure they're large enough to hold up on the skewers, but small enough to cook quickly and evenly. If you're using wooden skewers, be sure to soak them in water for about 30 minutes before using them to prevent them from burning on the grill. Next, prepare the marinade. In a small bowl, combine 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 3 cloves of garlic minced, and 1 teaspoon each of dried oregano, thyme, and rosemary. Add salt and pepper to taste. Whisk the ingredients together until the oil and vinegar are fully combined and the herbs are evenly distributed. Place the chopped vegetables in a large bowl and pour the marinade over them. Toss the vegetables gently to ensure they're evenly coated. Cover the bowl and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes, allowing the flavors to meld together. You can also let them marinate for up to 2 hours for a more intense flavor. While the vegetables are marinating, preheat your grill to medium-high heat. If you're using a charcoal grill, let the coals burn down to a steady, hot temperature. If using a gas grill, simply preheat it for about 10 to 15 minutes. After the vegetables have marinated, thread them onto the skewers, alternating the types of vegetables to create a colorful mix. Be sure to leave a little space between each piece to ensure even cooking. Once the grill is hot, place the vegetable skewers on the grill. Grill the skewers for about 8 to 10 minutes, turning them occasionally to ensure they're evenly charred on all sides. The vegetables should be tender with some crispy, charred spots, which adds a great smoky flavor to the dish. Be careful not to overcook them, as the vegetables should still retain their shape and a bit of crunch. Once the skewers are done, remove them from the grill and set them aside to rest for a few minutes. You can garnish the skewers with fresh herbs, like parsley or basil, for an extra burst of flavor and color. If you prefer a more tangy finish, drizzle a bit of extra balsamic vinegar over the vegetables just before serving. For a complete meal, serve the grilled vegetable skewers with a side of quinoa, couscous, or a green salad. They can also be paired with a protein like grilled chicken, steak, or tofu for a satisfying meal. For variations, feel free to experiment with different vegetables like eggplant, asparagus, or even chunks of pineapple for a sweet twist. You can also adjust the herbs in the marinade, using basil for a more Mediterranean feel or adding chili flakes for some heat. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. They can be reheated on the grill for a few minutes or enjoyed cold as a salad topping or in a wrap. Grilled vegetable skewers with herb marinade is a fresh, healthy, and flavorful dish that's sure to impress your guests and bring a taste of summer to your table. The smoky grilled vegetables, combined with the aromatic herb marinade, make this dish a colorful and satisfying addition to any meal. Our second recipe is slow-cooked pork carnitas tacos, a flavorful and tender dish that's perfect for any celebration or weeknight meal. The pork is slowly cooked in a fragrant blend of spices and citrus until it's fall-apart tender, then crisped up to perfection before being served in warm tortillas with your favorite toppings. These tacos are a crowd pleaser and will make your taste buds dance with joy. Let's begin. Start by preparing the pork. You will need a 4-pound pork shoulder, also called pork butt, which is ideal for carnitas because of its rich marbling and tenderness. Pat the pork dry with paper towels to remove any excess moisture. Cut the pork into large chunks, about 3 to 4 pieces, to help it cook more evenly. Next, prepare the seasoning mix. In a small bowl, combine 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Add salt and pepper to taste, then mix everything together. Rub this spice mix generously all over the pork, making sure to coat each piece evenly. In a large, slow cooker, combine the seasoned pork with the juice of 2 oranges and 2 limes, along with 1 onion, peeled and quartered, and 4 cloves of garlic, smashed. Add 1 to 2 bay leaves and a few sprigs of fresh thyme for added flavor. Pour in 1 cup of chicken broth to help create a flavorful cooking liquid. Cover the slow cooker and cook on low for 8 to 10 hours, or until the pork is very tender and easily shreddable with a fork. Once the pork is cooked, remove it from the slow cooker and set it aside to rest for a few minutes. Discard the onion, garlic, bay leaves, and thyme sprigs. Use 2 forks to shred the pork into bite-sized pieces. Skim off any excess fat from the cooking liquid, and, if desired, pour some of the remaining liquid over the shredded pork to keep it moist and flavorful. To crisp up the carnitas, heat a large skillet over medium-high heat and add the shredded pork in a single layer. Let it cook undisturbed for a few minutes until the edges become crispy and golden brown. Then, stir the pork and cook for another 2 to 3 minutes, allowing it to get crispy all over. This step adds a nice texture to the carnitas, making it extra delicious. To assemble the tacos, warm soft corn or flour tortillas and spoon the crispy carnitas into the center of each one. Top with your favorite toppings, such as fresh cilantro, diced onions, sliced avocado, salsa, and a squeeze of lime. You can also add a drizzle of sour cream or a sprinkle of cheese for extra richness. For a complete meal, serve the tacos with a side of Mexican rice, black beans, or a simple green salad. The tender, flavorful pork paired with the fresh toppings creates the perfect balance of flavors in every bite. For variations, you can experiment with different toppings, such as pickled onions, jalapenos, or even pineapple for a sweet and tangy twist. You can also swap the pork shoulder for a different cut of meat, like chicken thighs, for a lighter version of carnitas. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. The carnitas can be reheated in the skillet to recrisp the edges or used in other dishes like burritos, quesadillas, or salads. Slow-cooked pork carnitas tacos are a delicious and easy-to-make dish that's perfect for any occasion. The tender pork, crispy texture, and vibrant toppings make these tacos a standout meal that will leave everyone coming back for seconds. Our third recipe is vegetarian stuffed bell peppers, a healthy and satisfying dish that's perfect for a light lunch or dinner. These vibrant bell peppers are filled with a flavorful mixture of quinoa, black beans, corn, and spices, then baked to perfection for a comforting, plant-based meal. The combination of textures and flavors makes this dish a hit with vegetarians and meat eaters alike. Let's get started. Start by preparing the bell peppers. You will need 4 large bell peppers, any color of your choice. Cut the tops off of the peppers and remove the seeds and membranes. Rinse them under cold water and set them aside. Next, cook the quinoa. In a medium saucepan, bring 1 cup of quinoa and 2 cups of vegetable broth, or water, to a boil. Once boiling, reduce the heat to low, cover the pan, and simmer for 15 minutes, or until the quinoa is tender and the liquid is absorbed. Remove the pan from heat and fluff the quinoa with a fork. Set it aside to cool. While the quinoa is cooking, prepare the filling. In a large skillet, heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil over medium heat. Add 1 small onion, finely chopped, and sauté for 3 to 4 minutes, or until the onion becomes soft and translucent. Add 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and cook for another 30 seconds until fragrant. Next, add 1 cup of corn kernels, fresh, frozen, or canned, and 1 can, 15 ounces, of black beans, drained and rinsed. Stir in 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and a pinch of salt and pepper. Cook the mixture for 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally until everything is heated through and the flavors are well combined. Once the quinoa is ready, add it to the skillet with the black beans and corn mixture. Stir everything together to combine, and then remove from heat. If you like a little extra creaminess, you can stir in 1/4 cup of sour cream or Greek yogurt. Now, it's time to stuff the peppers. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Spoon the quinoa and bean mixture into each bell pepper, pressing down gently to pack the filling in. Place the stuffed peppers in a baking dish and cover the dish with aluminum foil. Bake the stuffed peppers in the preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until the peppers are tender. In the last 5 minutes of baking, you can remove the foil and sprinkle the tops of the peppers with shredded cheese, such as cheddar, Monterey Jack, or a dairy-free alternative. Then bake until the cheese is melted and bubbly. Once the peppers are done baking, remove them from the oven and let them cool for a few minutes before serving. Garnish with fresh cilantro, a squeeze of lime juice, or a dollop of salsa for extra flavor. For a complete meal, serve these stuffed peppers with a side of rice, a green salad, or roasted vegetables. The combination of quinoa, black beans, and corn provides a satisfying and filling dish, while the bell peppers add a fresh, slightly sweet flavor. For variations, you can swap the quinoa for rice or couscous, add diced tomatoes or avocado to the filling, or use different beans like kidney beans or pinto beans. If you prefer spicier peppers, feel free to add diced jalapenos or chili flakes to the filling mixture. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. Reheat the stuffed peppers in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius, for about 10 to 15 minutes until heated through, or in the microwave for a quicker option. Vegetarian stuffed bell peppers are a delicious and nutritious option that's full of flavor and easy to customize. Whether you're following a vegetarian diet or just looking for a healthier meal, these stuffed peppers are a great choice for any occasion. Our fourth recipe is pan-seared sea bass with lemon butter sauce, a light and elegant dish that's perfect for a special dinner. The delicate, flaky sea bass is perfectly pan-seared to golden brown perfection, then paired with a zesty and rich lemon butter sauce that enhances its natural flavor. This dish is quick to prepare and makes a beautiful centerpiece for any occasion. Let's get started. Start by preparing the sea bass. You will need 4 sea bass fillets, about 6 ounces each. Pat the fillets dry with paper towels to ensure a crispy sear. Season both sides of the fillets generously with salt and freshly ground black pepper. Next, heat a large skillet over medium-high heat and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once the oil is hot, place the sea bass fillets in the pan, skin side down if your fillets have skin. Cook the fillets for about 4 to 5 minutes without moving them, until the skin becomes golden brown and crispy. Flip the fillets over and cook for an additional 2 to 3 minutes, or until the fish is opaque and flakes easily with a fork. Once the fillets are done, remove them from the skillet and set them aside on a plate. In the same skillet, add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter over medium heat. Once the butter has melted, add 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and cook for 1 minute until fragrant. Stir in 1/4 cup of dry white wine, such as Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay, and let it simmer for 2 to 3 minutes to reduce slightly. This will help to concentrate the flavors and create a nice base for the sauce. Next, add 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice and continue to simmer for another minute. Stir in 2 more tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon at a time, until the sauce becomes smooth and velvety. Taste the sauce and adjust the seasoning with salt and pepper if needed. Once the sauce is ready, return the sea bass fillets to the skillet. Spoon the sauce over the fish, allowing it to warm through and soak up the flavors. If you prefer a slightly thicker sauce, you can let it simmer for another minute to reduce further. To serve, plate the sea bass fillets and pour the lemon butter sauce over the top. Garnish with freshly chopped parsley, a few lemon slices, and a sprinkle of capers or freshly cracked black pepper for an extra burst of flavor. For a complete meal, serve the pan-seared sea bass with a side of roasted vegetables, such as asparagus or green beans, and a light salad. You can also pair it with some creamy mashed potatoes, couscous, or a side of sautéed spinach. For variations, you can add fresh herbs like thyme, rosemary, or dill to the lemon butter sauce for added depth of flavor. You can also substitute the sea bass with other mild fish fillets, such as cod or halibut, for a similar dish. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 2 days. Reheat the fish gently in a pan over low heat, adding a little extra butter or oil to keep the fish moist. Pan-seared sea bass with lemon butter sauce is a simple yet luxurious dish that highlights the delicate flavors of the fish, enhanced by the richness of the butter and the brightness of the lemon. It's a perfect choice for a light yet indulgent dinner that will impress your guests and leave everyone satisfied. Our 5th recipe is chicken Alfredo pasta, a creamy and comforting classic that will make your dinner feel special. The rich, velvety Alfredo sauce coats the tender chicken and pasta perfectly, creating a dish that's both indulgent and satisfying. It's a timeless favorite that's perfect for a family meal or a dinner party. Let's get started. Start by preparing the chicken. You will need 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, about 6 ounces each. Pat the chicken breasts dry with paper towels and season both sides with salt, pepper, and a pinch of garlic powder. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a large skillet over medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, add the chicken breasts and cook for 5 to 6 minutes on each side, or until they are golden brown and cooked through, with an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. Once the chicken is done, remove it from the skillet and set it aside to rest for a few minutes. Once rested, slice the chicken into thin strips. While the chicken is resting, prepare the pasta. You will need 12 ounces of fettuccine pasta, or your favorite pasta. Bring a large pot of salted water to a boil and cook the pasta according to the package instructions, about 9 to 11 minutes. Once cooked, drain the pasta, reserving 1/2 cup of pasta water, and set the pasta aside. Now, make the Alfredo sauce. In the same skillet you used for the chicken, melt 1/4 cup, half a stick of unsalted butter over medium heat. Once the butter has melted, add 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and cook for 1 minute until fragrant. Stir in 1 cup of heavy cream and bring the mixture to a simmer. Let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes, allowing the cream to thicken slightly. Next, stir in 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese and continue stirring until the cheese has fully melted and the sauce becomes smooth and creamy. Taste the sauce and adjust the seasoning with salt and pepper as needed. If the sauce becomes too thick, add a small amount of the reserved pasta water to reach your desired consistency. Once the sauce is ready, add the cooked pasta to the skillet and toss it to coat in the creamy sauce. Add the sliced chicken on top and toss again to combine. Let everything simmer together for 1 to 2 minutes to heat through, allowing the flavors to meld. To serve, divide the chicken Alfredo pasta between plates and garnish with freshly chopped parsley and a sprinkle of additional Parmesan cheese. Serve with a side of garlic bread and a simple green salad for a complete meal. For variations, you can add sautéed mushrooms, spinach, or sun-dried tomatoes to the sauce for extra flavor. For a healthier twist, you can use whole wheat pasta or swap the heavy cream for half and half or milk. You can also add a squeeze of lemon juice for a fresh burst of acidity that balances the richness of the sauce. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. To reheat, gently warm the pasta in a pan over low heat, adding a little extra cream or milk to loosen the sauce. Chicken Alfredo pasta is a deliciously creamy, comforting dish that will be a hit at your dinner table. The tender chicken, rich sauce, and perfectly cooked pasta make for a satisfying meal that everyone will love. Our 6th recipe is vegetable tempura with soy dipping sauce, a crispy and light dish that's perfect as an appetizer or a side dish. The vegetables are coated in a light, airy batter and fried to perfection, resulting in a golden, crunchy exterior with a tender interior. Paired with a flavorful soy dipping sauce, this dish brings a burst of flavor in every bite. Let's get started. Start by preparing the vegetables. You will need 1 medium sweet potato, 1 zucchini, 1 carrot, and a handful of green beans. Peel and cut the sweet potato and carrot into thin slices, about 1/4 inch thick. Slice the zucchini into thin rounds and trim the ends of the green beans. You can also use other vegetables like bell peppers, mushrooms, or broccoli, depending on your preference. Next, prepare the tempura batter. In a large bowl, combine 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/2 cup of cornstarch. Add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground white pepper. Gradually whisk in 1 cup of cold, sparkling water. You can also use chilled regular water, but sparkling water gives the batter a lighter, crispier texture. Stir until the batter is smooth, but don't overmix. Lumps are fine. Now, heat the oil. In a deep frying pan or a wok, Heat about 3 to 4 cups of vegetable oil over medium-high heat. The oil should be hot but not smoking, around 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. To test if it's ready, drop a small amount of batter into the oil. If it floats to the surface and bubbles, the oil is ready for frying. Dredge the prepared vegetables in the batter, making sure they are evenly coated, and carefully drop them into the hot oil. Fry the vegetables in batches, making sure not to overcrowd the pan. Fry for 2 to 3 minutes, or until the batter is golden brown and crispy. Use a slotted spoon to remove the tempura and place it on a paper towel-lined plate to drain excess oil. For the dipping sauce, combine 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil in a small bowl. Stir to combine and adjust the seasoning if needed. If you prefer a sweeter sauce, you can add 1 teaspoon of honey or sugar. You can also sprinkle sesame seeds or finely chopped green onions on top for added flavor. To serve, arrange the vegetable tempura on a serving platter and serve with the soy dipping sauce on the side. Garnish with fresh herbs or a sprinkle of sesame seeds for a nice touch. For variations, you can experiment with different vegetables like bell peppers, onions, or mushrooms. For a spicier sauce, you can add a small amount of chili paste or a few drops of sriracha to the dipping sauce. You can also serve the tempura with a side of rice or a light salad for a more complete meal. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 2 days. To reheat, place the tempura in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius, for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until it becomes crispy again. Vegetable tempura with soy dipping sauce is a fun, flavorful dish that's crispy, light, and packed with fresh flavors. The combination of crunchy vegetables and savory dipping sauce makes this a dish everyone will enjoy. Our 7th recipe is beef and Guinness pie, a hearty and comforting dish that is perfect for any cold weather meal. The tender beef is slow cooked in rich Guinness stout, creating a deep, savory filling that is encased in a flaky, buttery pie crust. This dish is perfect for family gatherings or as a satisfying main course. Let's begin. Start by preparing the beef. You will need 2 pounds of beef chuck, cut into 1-inch cubes. Pat the beef dry with paper towels to ensure a good sear. Season the beef generously with salt and pepper. In a large pot or Dutch oven, heat 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil over medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, add the beef in batches, being careful not to overcrowd the pan. Brown the beef on all sides for about 5 to 7 minutes. This step is important for developing flavor. Once the beef is browned, remove it from the pot and set it aside. In the same pot, add 1 medium onion, chopped, 2 carrots, peeled and diced, and 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Cook for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally until the vegetables are softened and the onion is translucent. Next, stir in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and cook for another 2 minutes. This will help deepen the flavor of the dish. Pour in 1 cup of Guinness stout, scraping up any browned bits from the bottom of the pot. Let the beer simmer for 3 to 4 minutes to reduce slightly, which will concentrate the flavors. Now, return the browned beef to the pot, along with 2 cups of beef broth, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 bay leaf, and 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Stir everything together. Bring it to a simmer, then cover and cook on low heat for about 2 hours, or until the beef is tender and the sauce has thickened. Once the beef is tender, remove the pot from the heat. Discard the bay leaf and adjust the seasoning with salt and pepper to taste. Let the beef mixture cool slightly while you prepare the pie crust. For the crust, you will need 1 package of refrigerated pie dough, or you can make your own from scratch. Roll out the dough on a lightly floured surface to fit a 9-inch pie dish. Carefully place the dough into the dish and trim any excess around the edges. Pour the beef mixture into the prepared pie crust. Top the pie with another layer of pie dough and seal the edges by pressing them together with a fork. Cut a few slits in the top crust to allow steam to escape during baking. Brush the top crust with a beaten egg to give it a golden, glossy finish. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Place the pie in the preheated oven and bake for 35 to 40 minutes, or until the crust is golden brown and crisp. Once the pie is done, remove it from the oven and let it rest for 10 minutes before serving. To serve, cut the pie into slices and enjoy it with a side of mashed potatoes, steamed vegetables, or a simple green salad. This hearty beef and Guinness pie is the perfect comfort food, with tender beef and a flavorful, savory sauce. For variations, you can add other vegetables like peas or mushrooms to the filling for added flavor. You can also experiment with different types of beer for the filling, like a darker stout or porter for a more intense flavor. Leftovers can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. To reheat, place the pie in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius, for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until heated through. Beef and Guinness pie is a rich, flavorful dish that's sure to satisfy your hunger and impress your guests. The combination of tender beef and a rich, hearty sauce, all wrapped in a flaky, buttery crust, makes it the ultimate comfort food for any occasion.